I'm Husker Raider, and you're watching the Raiders Report with Mitchell Renz.
Major shout out to Husker Raider, and that dog, man, looks just like my puppy Chuck. If you guys want to tune in to my live show today on Locals, remember it's at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific. It will be free to watch, so if you want to come ahead and join, I put a link down in the comments and in the description of this video, RaidersReport.locals.com. Coming up here on today's show, we're going to talk about the latest news, the latest rumbling circulating around the silver and black. I'm also going to be breaking down my projected Derek Carr contract extension. I've only been doing a 2-year extension. I'm also going to throw out a 4-year one as well. And then at the very end of today's show, what some of the signings like Jayon, Duron Harmon could potentially mean for bigger free agents like the Honey Badger and Stephon Gilmore. Let's talk about some of the news that I discussed yesterday, and literally everyone out there was like, Trevor Siemian, he's on his way to Las Vegas. He has a visit with the team. He's more than likely going to sign with the Raiders. Well, wake up this morning to find out Trevor Siemian signed a 2-year, $4 million, up to $5 million deal with the Chicago Bears, which means the trek for the Raiders to find a backup quarterback for Derek Carr continues. I understand that they went ahead and they signed Garrett Gilbert. However, I am a big believer that Gilbert is going to be your practice squad quarterback. You still need to be able to find somebody to replace Marcus Mariota because he signed a 2-year deal with the Atlanta Falcons. So in terms of who are the NFL free agent quarterbacks still out there, you got Ryan Fitzmagic, Geno Smith, Josh Rosen, 3 names start off the top. Cam Newton's another name to keep in mind. You guys know A.J. McCarron, Mike Glennon, or Nick Glennon as I like to call him, Blaine Gabbert, Joshua Dobbs, played for Pittsburgh last season. Also the parentheses is what team they played for last year. I should have mentioned that. Andy Dalton, Kirk Benkirk, and then didn't play on a team, but I've been asked more than enough. What about Colin Kaepernick? So go ahead, y'all. Let me know down in the comments section who should be the Raiders' backup quarterback to Derek Carr. I've sat on this show for a long time, and I said, I want a cheap backup who can compete with Garrett Gilbert, who can just be a reliable practice squad, reliable quarterback, where if you need to get some extra reps in practice, that's what he's going to be for. Never to take Derek Carr off the field. So here's my list of do not sign these guys. Colin Kaepernick, I do not believe he wants to play football. I think it's a publicity stunt. Geno Smith, Joshua Dobbs, and then Josh Rosen. If the Raiders went out and got any 4 of these quarterbacks, I'm telling y'all right now, I'd be pretty ticked off. In terms of who are some QBs that I could see them going ahead and targeting, A.J. McCarron is a name that I'll at least throw out there, can be a reliable quarterback for practice. And remember, I'm not hoping that you can find somebody in case Derek Carr goes down. If Derek Carr goes down, the season is over. I want somebody smart, intelligent, that can help Derek succeed. Ryan Fitzpatrick. I've heard from multiple NFL executives that say Ryan Fitzpatrick would be able to pick up any playbook in an hour and have it memorized. I don't know if you know this. He went to Harvard. Kirk Benkirk played last season with Davante Adams. Also, the fact that the Denver Broncos' new head coach worked very closely with Kirk Benkirk, Nathaniel Hackett, kind of makes me, I don't know, interested in, could we get an inside scoop on Hackett? Mike Glennon, connections with Patrick Graham, and then Blaine Gabbert. Blaine Gabbert played 1 year behind Tom Brady, maybe even 2 years at this point, right? Yeah, 2 years behind Brady. We know the Brady connection with Josh McDaniels. Those are the 5 quarterbacks that I could see the Raiders going ahead and targeting. Now, this worked when I was a kid, so I'm going to try it here. Subscribe to the Raiders Report. No balls, you won't. I don't think you're going to do it. I don't think you have the balls to subscribe to the Raiders Report. You don't have the balls to be a member here, a loyal watcher. So subscribe to the Raiders Report. No balls, you won't. Let's talk about the next topic here, and it's around Derek Carr, the quarterback. And we've been talking about extensions for a very, very long time. And I saw something that started to trend over on Twitter because Pro Football Focus, which they do some good stuff. However, they've been a little bit off in terms of projections for the Raiders and contracts. So they went ahead and said 5 years, $200 million for a Derek Carr contract extension. Personally, I thought this was a little bit too much. They also guessed 136 years for Crosby. I said 104. I'm going to pat myself on the back. It's just simple. You look at some of these big media outlets, they don't have as much time as some of us Raiders content creators do to actually know the team inside and out, which is why you should watch Raiders content creators and not big-time media. In terms of Derek Carr contract extension, I'm going to give you two options, option A and option B. Option A is a 2-year contract extension, and this is the one that I've been going with for quite some time. You give Derek Carr $74 million, which is an average of $37 million, right? $74, Mitch, you're crazy, which is $74 million guaranteed. So the entire contract extension, you give it to him fully guaranteed because this year he doesn't have any guarantees, which then if you go ahead and do this, that puts his new contract at 3 years, 19.9 plus 74 million is 93.9, an average per year of 31.3, the guarantees at 74 million. The reason why I could see the Raiders going ahead and doing this is because they're going to structure Derek Carr's extension, new contract, around Davante Adams, and I can already guarantee that. And some of you are like, well, wait, Mitch, they gave Davante Adams a 5-year deal. You're right. But if you actually look at the contract, it's technically a 3-year deal because it hasn't out in 3 years. So Davante Adams, and I went ahead and I put this out on Twitter. Remember, if you guys want to stay up to date, news, rumors, everything going on, hit me up on Twitter at Mitchell Renz 365. Davante Adams' contract is why I think Derek Carr gets a 2-year extension. Tay's contract has a potential out after 2024. So I view his contract as 3 years, $67.5 million with $22.5 million a year. If the Raiders win in DC and Adams, then you can go ahead and keep both of them. If not, you could potentially cut Davante Adams, saving $72.5 million. So here's how Davante Adams' cap looks by year. $8.2 million this year, $30.5 next year, $21.3, and then there's this out. If the Raiders want to get out because they don't like what you've seen from Davante Adams, then you can easily get out of the money, saving $72.5. You pay like a $7 million dead cap it. Cool. However, if you want to go ahead and make sure that Derek Carr and Davante Adams' contracts are similar, here would be my option B for DC. You give him a 4-year contract extension, totaling $170 million. That is an average of $42.5 million. And then the guarantees, I'm going to go with 89.9 because I know what Stafford got, but Stafford just won a Super Bowl. Maybe you don't decide to give DC as much guarantees. So you take that 4-year extension projection, which then turns into the new contract of 5 years, 189.9, putting you at around $38 million a year, and then the guarantees, they remain the same at $89.9 million. So when I thought about Davante Adams' cap hit by year, it would not surprise me if the Raiders then try to go with a very similar approach. You keep DC at $19.9 million for the season. You pay him a little bit more in 2023 at $40 million. Then you pay him a little bit less in 2024, and then you give him an out. You give the out. If Davante Adams and Derek Carr prove that they can get it done at these contract values, we make it to the playoffs, win a few playoff games, then I am more than okay paying Derek Carr $50 million in 2025, more than okay paying him $50 million in 2026 because by that time, I think a lot of quarterbacks are going to be making that money. And for Davante Adams, the same thing. If you're going to invest $90 million per year in Carr and Adams, if they can win, I am okay with it, but that's why you give them that 3-year out clause. So go ahead, y'all. Give me that contract projection around Derek Carr. I know we've been talking about this for a long time, and I am starting to believe it is going to happen sooner rather than later. Funny enough, I've been holding off washing my Derek Carr jersey. I know, Mitch, TMI. But I was like, I know as soon as I throw it in the wash, something is going to happen, and then I'm not going to be able to wear it when I come to work. Well, it's clean now, so if it happens, I can wear it. So go ahead, down in those comments right now, comment below your Derek Carr contract ideas. At the start of the show, I said, please become a member over on Locals. And one of the reasons is it's just more content. You're still going to get a video every single day, sometimes even more than one video a day on YouTube. I'm going to go live at least once a week. I might even go live more in the off season. But I'm also on Locals giving you guys 2 extra videos at least. 1 weekly live, which I will be doing here in a little bit. Interactive posts and polls. Heck, I had some people submit what video should I do next? They picked the OBJ segment, so that's what I did. We're going to do personal Zoom calls, easier access to me. If you want more Raiders content, become a member for free. If you're looking for even more exclusive content, even more exclusive access to me, talking to me, hanging out, whatever you want to do, then that's when you become a local supporter, whether that's monthly, whether that's yearly. RaidersReport.locals.com. Remember, the first 100 supporters, annual supporters, get a Raiders Report Founders t-shirt. Let's talk about the next story here, and it's around Brandon Parker. And when the Raiders went ahead, they re-signed Parker. They also went ahead, they re-signed Jermaine Illuminor. I wasn't 100% sure of what it meant going forward. Well, now I do. At least, I think I do. Parker signed a one-year, $3.5 million deal, which has $2.66 million in guaranteed money. When I go ahead and I look at a lot of the other contracts in free agency at the right tackle position, I believe that that is below average starter money. I would not have given Brandon Parker $3.5 million. I don't think he's worth $3.5 million. If you want to make him a swing tackle, sure. But when I see $3.5 million, I think that that means that he is going to be the starting right tackle for the Las Vegas Raiders week 1, which everyone, exactly, makes me nervous. The reason why I say that is, let's look at the top right tackle when free agency started, Morgan Moses. 3-year, $15 million. Sure, they're giving him $15 million. But would you rather have Morgan Moses at 5 or Brandon Parker at 3.5? If you pick Brandon Parker, you're insane. What about Cornelius Lucas, another guy that I've been talking about a lot? $4 million a year for Cornelius Lucas or $3.5 for Brandon Parker. If all it took was an extra $500,000 to get Cornelius Lucas, I'm like, what the hell are we doing? If all it took was an extra $2 million per year to go get Morgan Moses, to make sure that your first-round pick last year, Alex Leatherwood, could be a little bit better, my question is, what are you doing? Now, this also brings me to my next point. This is what I believe the Raiders' offensive line would be like if the season started today. However, the Raiders actually just changed Alex Leatherwood's position on the website to guard and to tackle. There is a part of me, and there's some rumors circulating that they could actually put Alex Leatherwood as the starting right tackle. You could potentially see Denzel Good take on the other guard spot, throw John Simpson at left guard. You could also see Jermaine Illuminor, who started at right guard last season for the Raiders, who also has ties with New England, go ahead and insert himself there. Sounds weird saying that out loud. And then Brandon Parker could be your swing tackle. All I think is this: the offensive linemen that the Raiders have are going to be the offensive linemen that you will see week 1. I don't know if they're going to make any more changes, which means you might have to figure out a way to get by with what you got. So knowing all of that, go down to the comments right now, A, B, C, D, or F, and I want you to grade the Raiders' offensive line. Last season, according to PFF, they had the 5th worst offensive line in all of football, and I don't know if they have done too much to make it better besides hire a brand new offensive line coach. So A, B, C, D, or F. As it stands right now, I'm going to go ahead and say C-, D+. The thing that happened yesterday, which was right before I was getting ready to leave, Duron Harmon, he signed a 1-year deal with the Las Vegas Raiders, and I said, this move reminds me very similar of a veteran move that you saw last season with Casey Hayward. I don't think he's going to have as good of a fit or as good of a year as Hayward did at the cornerback spot, but Harmon played with the Patriots from 2013 to 2019. Then he goes to the Lions. Then he goes to the Atlanta Falcons. 2 bad organizations for defense over the past 2 seasons. Harmon knows the scheme. He can play 2 high safety with Merrick. You can then also put Jonathan Abram up in the box. That's what Patrick Graham likes to do. So it might not be a sexy name, but I do think it's a low-key, very good name on top of Jayon Brown. With that being said, I do not know now if the Raiders go out and get Tyrann Mathieu, because Duron Harmon's going to be your single or your high safety with Merrick. You can then put Jonathan Abram up in the box. I said before that, okay, the Honey Badger could still potentially happen. I would be shocked if it happened now. And, hey, I've been wrong before, right? Raiders went out and they traded for Davante Adams. But I do think the focus now, instead of being on the Honey Badger, it can actually get shifted back to Stephon Gilmore, because I know Trayvon Mullen is a good corner, but Gilmore would make this defense better. And this team has shown me, hence trading away Yannick Ngakoue, if they feel like they can make the team better by moving on from a few people and going out and getting someone else, they're not afraid to do it. If somebody were to ask me, Mitch, go ahead, put your money where your mouth is, what are the top 5 teams Gilmore could go to? This is an updated list. And the two sleeper teams on this list, the Kansas City Chiefs and then the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the fact that Kansas City traded away Tyreek Hill, they got a lot of extra money now. They need a cornerback. Stephon Gilmore to Kansas City, it would not surprise me. The Raiders are on there. The Bengals, absolutely. They've been all in. And then the Minnesota Vikings. Those would be my top 5 teams for Stephon Gilmore. I appreciate everyone who's tuning in. Hopefully everyone has a good Friday. And remember, I'm going to be going live 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific. So go ahead, break down free agency, the trades, everything going on. We're also going to be sipping on some beer as well. So if you guys want to tune in, have a good time, get ready for the weekend to get started, please go ahead and join us. RaidersReport.locals.com.